What's good, everybody out there? If you are new to the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's talk about it. This episode is brought to you by Cocoa Breeze Body Butter, featuring my new fragrance, King Scent. Fellas, let me tell you something. When you finish taking a shower, after you do your regular rub down, arms and everything else, right? Do your face, rub this in your beard, and your beard will sparkle all day long. Facts. Listen, if anybody knows me, then you know that I try to use my platform, whatever platform that may be, right? When I first became Ishues, I remember my mother telling me, she was like, if you go on, at the time before I became, it was like around 2000, right before I chose the name Ishues. Some may know the story, some may not. I remember I was trying to find an identity. I just had a daughter. I used to be part of a group. Now I'm not part of a group no more. Like, I pretty much have to have a whole nother identity. You know what I'm saying? Because even my group, my name inside of the group was tied to the group. So I wanted to just strike out on my own. And I remember talking to my mother, and my mother said, if you get up in front of people, have something to say. So that kind of became my identity. So whatever platform that I have, whether it's getting up on stage or whether it's, using Facebook, Instagram, whatever, my platform is always the same. You know what I'm saying? And that's, the message from my platform is always the same. And that's to inform, create dialogue so that we can grow and learn from each other, inform the things that I know, and talk about the issues, talk about the things that affect us, and try to discuss some solutions. Like if you listen to my music, I talk about the problems, but I also discuss solutions. I don't give the solutions because, I don't think anyone can say they have all the solutions. I can, give recommendations based on the things that I've seen, the things that I've lived through, the things that I've experienced. So, so I like to talk about those type of things. So in this particular video, I want to talk about something that I feel like it needs to be the new movement. Like, it really needs to be the new movement. And that's the marry your baby mama movement. Marry your baby mama movement. Marry your baby mama movement. Think about it like this. I know some people may hear that and be like, my baby mom's crazy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I got this problem, that problem with her. I don't have a good relationship with her, whatever, right? Like, if you out there, you have baby mom, 2 or 3, whatever, then maybe your situation is irreparable. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You know what I'm saying? I do know in cases of men trying to be men, and that's where I'm coming from with it. Like, my whole thing with it is I feel like manhood is being attacked. It's being attacked through the misconception that misogyny is manhood. A lot of people don't know the difference between misogyny and manhood. You know what I'm saying? So manhood is being attacked through the misunderstanding that it's the same as misogyny. So when we talk about manhood, it's about responsibility. It's about accountability more than anything. Not just responsibility, but accountability. And responsibility through accountability. Being accountable first. I messed up. Here's how I correct it. So, which I feel like it's needed. And I feel like a lot of the youth, I deal with a lot of youth, and a lot of the youth, the males are missing that, especially in our community. A lot of the males are missing that. And a lot of times, they're raised by a lot of females. So a lot of their reactions and stuff be, either emotional, reactionary, emotional, that kind of thing, right? So, so we need that. We need more men being men. You know what I'm saying? And playing their position in society. So I say that to say that your situation may not be something that could be repaired. You know, that's cool. One thing that if you are trying to be a man, then you're trying to be involved in your child's life. You're trying to raise your child as much as you possibly can. And with that being said, you have a connection to your baby mom that no other man has and that no other woman can have unless she's another baby mom. But just another chick that you dealing with, whoever, she don't have the same connection as your baby mom. That's a fact. The connection was made when y'all made the child. It's a biological fact. You know, as much as you want to fight against it, deny it, and, you know, I've seen females deny it. I've seen men deny it. You know what I'm saying? Males deny it. Females deny it. I've seen it on both sides. But the bottom line is, if you have a baby with that, if you have a child together, y'all have a connection. You know what I'm saying? You may try to sever or have severed the connection, but the connection is there. And if it's severed, then it's severed, you know what I'm saying, on both sides. You know what I mean? But that's denial. That's denial of something that's there. That's something that could be reconnected. You feel me? So what I mean by that, man, I mean by just that being the new movement in our community. One thing that, you know, I try to talk about are things that, regardless of what happens politically or whatever the case may be, like, you can make sure that you fortify yourself. And the best way to fortify yourself, especially in these times, is a strong family. And those are the values that are being attacked by mainstream media and everything else. It's strong families. You know what I mean? Strong families. And as far as us in the black community, like, we need to move past this culture of broken families. We need to move past that. Like, we've gotten to the point where we consider a broken family a rite of passage. And at this point in time, it doesn't have to be. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I just feel like at this point we can change it, right? Like, when we first got hit in our communities with, you know, the crack era and mass incarceration and all that kind of stuff, it was like, you know, this happened to us, we got caught off guard, all right, you got me. But at this point, there's enough history to study to know not to fall for the same traps. And the way that they've always been able to do, in the way that just society breaks down in general, is just, doesn't matter whether it's in the white community, the black community, you know what I'm saying, the Hispanic community. I emphasize in the black community because I myself am a black man. My children are black children. I have a young black son, and the issues in the black community directly affect me. You know? So the one thing that we need to reverse is this whole culture of broken families. So that needs to be the new movement, man. You know what I'm saying? MYBMM. Marry Your Baby Mama movement. Period. So let that be like the new standard. If you have a teenage son, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. I'm speaking to young men. You know what I mean? Because I've been a young man before. So for young men, like, you know, if you have a son and he comes home, then that needs to be immediately the thought process. And it don't even have to be a situation where it's like, okay, directly matrimony or whatever, but once you made the commitment to implant a seed in her, then you are making a commitment to start a family and everything that means. Everything that means. You're starting a family from right there. So whether that means actual matrimony or just the commitment, the strong enough commitment that, forsaking all others, this is going to be the woman that you know, pay attention to so you can raise a family, you know what I mean? And something like that, when number one, go back to, we've gotten really irresponsible, you know what I'm saying, with sex and sexuality and all that kind of stuff, right? And I feel like, you know, like there needs to be some sort of responsibility that, okay, if I have unprotected sex with this female and she becomes pregnant, then that's it. my choice is made. You know what I'm saying? My choice is made. So what that will cause you to do, instead of normalizing the whole thing, the whole process, we've gotten to the point where we normalize it. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell you, coming from a family who was raised on those principles, you know what I'm saying? My father has 17 children, 28, about to be 29 grandkids, and counting. You know what I'm saying? And then you branch off, out of the 17, 10 of them have started families, you know what I'm saying, got married and started families like that. That's always been like the thinking in my family. And at the end of it all, I look at my father, he has 17 kids, 28 grandkids, you know, and at the end of it all, it doesn't matter what happens. If everything else falls apart, at least we have our family. We have a strong family structure, you know what I'm saying, which is in a community. You get a family that big, you know, with in-laws and all that other stuff, and combined, I mean, that's a whole village. You know what I mean? So for your survival as a people, it doesn't matter how you identify that. You know what I mean? Look, I got her pregnant, married my baby mom. That's the new gangster. Stepping up to the plate. That's the new gangster. You know what I'm saying? That needs to be anyway. You know what I mean? So that'll help young men to make better and more responsible choices, right? Because socially, this is what we're instituting socially. You know what I mean? We're making it socially acceptable to look. That's the choice you made. All my homeboys feel the same way. All my family feel the same way. Because guess what? We need to go back to constructing strong members of our community, strong members of our society. And that starts with strong families. There's a lot of these problems will iron themselves out when you start back at the basics. We've gotten too comfortable with the normalization of broken families. So anyway, that's just how I feel about that. Marry your baby mama movement. I say that be the new joint. Whatever you may feel, hey, leave it in the comments section. Subscribe, like, dislike, but make sure you share it and let's talk about it. All right? Peace.